Do you think we need to do a sound test?
No, I think we can just go.
Oh my gosh. We're at this point in our careers.
Yes. Oh, 1,000. Hi everyone.
Hello.
I'm Britton.
I'm Kayla.
And this is VillageVibesPodcast. Oh, hell no.
Listen, it is not playtime, y'all. Also, will you shut that door, maybe?
Yes.
Okay, so this is
Village Vibes Podcast. We're your favorite processing partners. Happy day, whichever day that you hear this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think before we go into it, I just want to quickly I want to say a few things because I don't know, this morning was weird energetically, and I was like trying to process through it all and understand what was going on. And I think what it is that now that we've gotten through the excitement that there will be a new administration coming in, I think I came to a place where I was like, wow, I'm still impacted by all the damage that's been done.
Right.
And now we're about to head into a lockdown in Oregon again, and I am trying really hard not to be nervous about it, but I also don't want to be in denial about it either in order to survive.
Yeah.
Which I'll go into more of that with what I learned, but that's the big thing. The big meat of it all is just that, like, I'm like, okay, we have a new administration coming in, but what happens in the next 69 days now or whatever?
Well, honestly, what happens for the next 4 years?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
so I'm just a little bit, it's like I'm stressed, but I don't want to be stressed. But I also am leaning on the fact that I've been in survival mode for a very long time. And I think after 2019, while I mean, of course, I do my best to search for the positive outcomes or things that are as a result, that was a terrible year. And I think I'm still really impacted by what all went down then.
Well, it's not like,
look at your
oh,
dog.
wow. That's really going to
get your Scruff McGruff ass in that bed.
Can you get out of the way? Come here.
Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois. Look at him on your computer. He stopped the time. Start the timer. See? We got him 60652. He's rude.
Okay, this is the reality of recording from home, okay?
Yes.
My bedroom being the studio. Yeah, I hear you. Like, and also what I was going to say before I was so rudely interrupted, was that this year didn't really allow you any space to cope with last year because this year was also filled with trauma. Right.
And I came to terms with that this morning too, or I came to understanding and realization this morning was that, like, it's not over, y'all. Like while I do want to project as much positivity moving forward as possible, we are going to be dealing with what has happened from the beginning of this year.
Right. I mean,
we're just now getting to a place where we're going to have to grieve those things. Like, it was so back to back.
It's not over. Donald Trump has uncovered some really nasty ugliness within the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And now Donald Trump Jr. is trying to get into the RNC. So it's kind of like, it's not over. It's not over.
Right. And so it's just to say, I hope that we as a people are still recognizing that we are still dealing with all the things that have led up to this point. And I so hope that we're still giving each other some grace. Like, I hope we're not being too hard on ourselves still. Like, we need rest still. We need relief still. The coronavirus is wild. We need a package of something for the people. I know I'm one of those people who needs it. Like, I think this week was the week that really hit me. That was like, oh girl, I don't know. I don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Like, so anywho, I think I just needed to get that off my brain before we started because I didn't want to forget it.
Okay.
So that was it.
I understand. Yeah.
Shall we have a Bay of the Week?
We shall. Who's your Bay of the Week?
My Bay of the Week is, at first it was, well, I want to tip my hat to Joy Reid and to Tiffany Cross, who are just two bad women, black women. They really show up and they really speak their mind. And why I wish there were more voices of color at MSNBC. And there are a pretty hefty number, but I really just love that they focus on the narrative of black folks. I mean, they do a broad coverage of everything, but I think their voices are really important and really matter because there's not many people on the news cycle that are doing that.
Yeah,
Women.
It's so wild to me that like racism is not something that is talked about all the time.
Yeah. But those are my tips off for the week.
Yeah.
But the real Bay of the Week goes to AOC, who tweeted this week, can we please get people stimulus checks and mortgage relief and rent forgiveness and small business support and free testing and hazard pay and health care for the uninsured and underinsured in the middle of a pandemic, or is that too socialist too? I mean, if AOC just
Apparently
really just drops
is.
all the progressive gens. I
love her.
I'm still trying to uncover what the issue is. Like what is the issue? Like, is it that you think people will become lazy or something? Or
it's so incredible. And if you ask somebody like why, it always comes back to money.
Yeah.
But then when you ask them like, what does money really mean to you? There's no good answer for it because there is no reason that a person should have $1 billion.
It's all trees. It's all trees turned into paper. I just don't understand.
It's all make believe, guys. It might as well be Monopoly money.
How did we? It might as well. Like
unfortunately,
really
we as humans. This is what's so funny. We are the ones that put value into the dollar. We are the ones that put value into currency. If we just said that shit, it could really be that shit. And we wouldn't have to deal with it. I mean, like, I think it's so crazy that people think that, like, we can't move away from that when we were the ones who invented it in the first place.
Yeah. Like, I'm just like, this is, we're destroying the earth by taking trees down so we can create this paper that we put so much value in.
Capitalism did this.
I know.
That's always the message, okay? And white supremacy.
What was that tweet that we saw that came out this week that was just like, it was something similar to AOC's, but then it said the people. We need assistance for this or that and the other. And then it said a white guy, but the economy or something like that. Like someone said to me the other day, something about the economy. And I was just like, what exactly is that? Like, what is it? Like,
what do you mean
what do you
by
mean?
that?
Do you think we couldn't survive or something like that without it?
Yeah.
Like,
that really is what it is. We are just so narrow-minded, and we have been brainwashed into thinking that there's only one way that this world can work. And that's not absolutely not the truth, because it worked fine for a long time before colonization and industrialization. And was also more sustainable, and the earth wasn't about to set into flames. Do you know what I mean? So
anywho,
okay.
So yeah,
AOC,
it goes to AOC. But then, man, finally, I want to give it to us because we made it through an entire year of living together.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We did do that.
Congratulations!
Congratulations to
Happy
you too.
1 year.
I don't know how I didn't think this wasn't going to work. Or we didn't think this was going to work, because we both agreed at one point. It was like, it'll never work. We shouldn't do it. We want to maintain our friendship.
Yeah.
So
little did we know.
Little did we know.
You were already really living with me.
You better tell the whole truth.
Yeah.
Who's your Bay of the Week?
Year. Okay, so I got a few. I just wanted to do my own tribute to Alex Trebek today. So the day that we found out, the day that we talked about it on the podcast was the same day that we found out that it happened. I just hadn't really processed it. But this week it really hit me, I think. But my best friend Liz, who's been on the show, and her family, who I adore, they're all...
Wait, hold up, what?
Elizabeth? Liz?
What?
My best friend Liz and her family.
You said they've been on the show?
No.
Oh.
No. They're huge Jeopardy fans.
Oh.
Huge Jeopardy fans.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Continue. My bad. I'm gonna shut
up. They
up.
had been on Jeopardy? That would be crazy. So they'd bet for Final Jeopardy. They'd bet like $1 or something if you got the Final Jeopardy question. And they had like it was like their family thing. They would watch Jeopardy, and I would be over a lot of times for that. And I loved Jeopardy before that, but when I kind of became part of that routine with Liz's family, I really started to watch it regularly. And Alex was not perfect. He was a white man. Okay. But he was so dedicated to knowledge and to culture and to worldly understanding. And he spoke several languages. He studied the questions and the answers. I mean, he really studied. He really knew what he was talking about on that show. He was funny. He was engaging. He made a trivia show that was that really showcases nerds and weirdos. He made it
like,
cool. He
cool.
made it interesting to watch.
The girls got money. Lots of money.
I'm sorry. I have to say, like, it really took a very special person to take a concept like Jeopardy and to make it the cultural phenomenon that it was, because it wasn't just the do. It wasn't just the theme songs. It was really branded. Alex Trebek that made that show what it was.
You're right.
And so anyway, definitely my Bay of the Week. Also Native Americans and Indigenous folks, something like 90-something% turned out in Arizona for Biden. 90-something%. They
don't owe us nothing.
And they sure as don't owe us anything.
They don't owe us a damn thing. Okay.
Also shout out to Cori Bush.
Yes, to protect her. Because she's walking into this kind of blind, like she's new to this. And I just hope that she has the proper guidance and mentorship and guidance. I really do. From the right folks. The right folks. And
you know what? There is definitely that force. There is that team of Congress folks who are a force. And then also the honeybee lemonade syrups really carried us through the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I just want to shout out the company. So good, mixed it and everything.
So I think, and again, like it carried us through the last week, but I want to remind us that like that's what I'm saying is that week I feel like everyone was on edge and just kind of tried to hold it together as best that they could.
Yeah.
I know I was not the only person that was waking up random hours of the night and the first thing you did was go to the news column.
Right. Absolutely.
And try to figure out what was going on. Like give yourselves like some recognition for the fact that like that impacted you.
Right.
And I just get frustrated because I feel like in this society is just like it's a constant moving wheel. Mm-hmm. And you don't get a chance to just kind of like slow down and really reflect on what just happened, especially now in such a fast-paced culture.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I'm like, y'all haven't dealt with, that was traumatic. Call it what it is.
This wake and grind culture, this work. That
40-hour TikTok that you sent me, volumes.
I'm telling you.
All created by human beings. All created by human beings. We're not supposed to be doing all of this. It's not a good thing. It's not good to be proud. Oh, I don't get no sleep. It's not a good thing to be. You got to keep grinding and hustling, and you got to work X amount of hours for your whole life until you 70, and then that's when you retire. It's not the way it's supposed to be, peoples.
We've went really awry somewhere. Well, I mean, I know where. I could say it, but it's controversial.
But we know.
Anywho. Okay. So what did you learn this week?
This is what I learned.
You don't have to do that.
I just wanted to do that.
Adar does that for us.
Thanks, Adar. Thanks, KJ. You two are still ruling over here, okay? Going back to what I walked into this show with was just that like I learned that I'm still trying to find my footing in this pandemic. Mm-hmm. Like I just am, and there's concern for what will be in terms of need of assistance. It's just greater than I thought it would be, and I just don't want to. I don't want to let it consume me, but I don't want to be. But I am nervous. I am trying to figure out how to be realistic about it while not allowing it to, like I said, consume me. And I feel like sometimes I fall into denial. I'm trying to take note of where I step into denial in order to survive. Because it's a real thing that I do.
As a coping mechanism?
Yeah, like denial.
Yeah.
In order to avoid the pain that it'll cause, or me going so deep, getting meta about it, or deep in my thoughts about it, because that's what's going to paralyze me.
We're egotistical beings. I think, like, going back to this idea that like humans, we're just like animals, right? I mean, it's natural for us to steer away from pain. It's natural for us to find coping mechanisms and to lie to ourselves and to try to avoid painful situations. It's like the hot burner. Like once you touch it, it's going to hurt. So you don't do it again. So, we find it's natural, I think, for us to find ways. Like the human part is where that's like the deeper level thinking where like we can acknowledge it and then.
Right. Like I'm trying to justify some kind of way to go out of the house. knowing that there's a pandemic ravaging the airs. Like,
well, it's
and
hard
it's just
too
like,
when like people are throwing parties. We should not be no one should be throwing I don't understand why we're throwing parties, y'all. It's really not that. It's not important enough. I'm sorry. It's
It really isn't.
not.
And I just wish that people didn't value their social lives more than their actual lives. Like,
that to me is so strange.
Why is it so tough just to like
Yeah.
put a mask on? Like, and I've been seeing tweets about people saying like how they feel like they're enslaved because they feel forced to wear a mask. I was like, what do you mean? Because my people were actually enslaved and didn't have a choice in anything that they did. So what are you talking about?
To compare masks to slavery is
insanity.
the most wild thing I've ever. I can't even say anything. It's so bothersome. I can't.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I hear you. So I mean, it's just the new lockdown is about to go down, which I am for because it's gonna save lives.
Right.
And even yeah, it's gonna save lives. Period. But I also wish I had a sense of what the plan was for people like me who do need assistance. Like, I'm like, hey, government, I mean, I'm going to be impacted by this.
Right.
And while I don't want to center on finances, and I recognize that it's a factor in the world that we live in, but I'm just trying. I just want to figure out how I'm going to like get through this.
Yes.
Honestly, like I know again, and it's coming back into that idea that like it's both understandable but frustrating that like I've constantly been a survivor for my whole life. I'm a Black gay man. Like again, my whole life has been
it's exhausting.
It's been survival skills and it's exhausting. And I'm just like, man, I just don't want to rely on that anymore because it's becoming it wears you down.
Yes. It's
like to constantly have to rely on survival skills. That's just not
and
the
to
move
be
for
so
me.
aware of it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's like the cycle breaker piece is that like we're so aware of it. We can see like capitalism is a sham and and the 40-hour work week is a sham and all of the other things. But then we have no choice but to still engage with this thing that we've identified as evil, which is also exhausting. But yes, to be in survival mode all the time and to be in that also like, you know, like that stage of chaos somewhere.
Yeah. You know, that's we talked about that before. It's like, it's the stage of chaos. It's like, well, here comes chaos this week. I guess I'm just going to have to. Yeah, you just live in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like wild. But I imagine like when I think about ways that I can approach remedying it is just like, okay, well, educate yourself on how to grow your own food, child. Do what you need to do to get yourself a cute piece of land, cultivate the land, grow your own food. At least that part you don't have to worry about. You know what I mean? I imagine like those are things that I need to probably just become more ingrained in. And because I don't see any other way out like, other than to like figure it out for myself. But I just still need to get through these stages of capitalism in order to attain that.
Yes. It's like you
and I mean,
we're trapped.
Because I think about I don't know if I've told this story before, but my grandfather, who passed away when my mom was a kid and my mom passed away, she told me the story. I've learned for a long time. My family had a massive piece of land that they owned. He owned it, and he was bamboozled out of his land, and by white people. And I mean, it's just hard because I think about things like generational wealth, and I'm like, that could have been land that was dedicated to my family now, and that we could have used it, and maybe that could have kept us unified. Maybe we wouldn't have so much division in our family now if those things that tore us apart didn't exist. And I get mad because I'm just like, man, I come from a family that owned land,
right?
A Black family. And I never got to meet him, and I never got to know anything about my history. It's been completely erased. I have no one to, and it's just leading up to now. It's just like, wow. And it just sucks having to know that I've had to survive and be in survival mode and chaos for so long. And that could have been avoided. Not avoided, but a little easier, a little lighter, a little lighter.
It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. It could be so simple for us to just treat each other well. It could be so simple.
So.
Well, I'm sorry. I see you.
I just don't want to rely on survival skills for much longer. And I wish that people understood that that's not a sign of laziness or unwillingness to contribute to community. I just wish in general that community was really a more valued and respected. Yeah. And yes, I have people in my life who do that. So, anywho, what'd you learn?
Okay, that came to an abrupt
halt. Well, we're at 20 minutes.
I understand. I've just been like having to really like check in hard with myself over the last couple of weeks because I feel like it's been so many ups and downs emotionally, personally, and then like I just have these like major swings where I have to stop and ask myself like, are you depressed?
Yeah.
I can't
How you
tell.
doing, buddy?
Yeah. Wait a second. Because I'll have this moment where I'm like, oh, I'm so depressed. And I think I also am like so used to saying that to myself because, for a long time it was I would have to identify it that way and recognize it and acknowledge it. And now I think I'm just like, anytime I feel any sort of like low energy or anger or sadness or something, I instantly go to like, I'm depressed. And then I'll have to like stop and check in with myself and be like, are you depressed? I don't think it's that you're depressed. I think it's that maybe this thing is happening or this thing is happening or whatever. But it has been really, I really relate to what you were saying about like, especially the COVID thing, like wanting to go out and feeling the pressure. I think like societal pressure of like, it's cool to like go out and party. It's fine now. We're fine. Just as long as you're wearing a mask. Or we take temperatures before you come in, which is not
once you get a couple drinks in, honey. Once you get a couple drinks in, the masks come off anyway.
We just don't even need to have the gatherings, guys. But
some
all
people really
need
that. I don't get it, but I'm a loner, so I can go weeks without seeing y'all.
I would agree that some people need social interaction. To say that that people need to have parties or need to attend parties, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Or like big social events just shouldn't be happening. Anywho, but all those ups and downs of COVID and like now we're going back into lockdown and we're breaking new records every day and people that I know are being affected by it. It's really
it's here. It's
right.
In the area.
It's
in our area. Like,
it's not exclusive to anywhere anymore.
Right.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And I think so I've just been really like, I've been trying to be as connected to myself as I can be, like trying not to disconnect too much because I have to, I just feel like in this state of trauma, I just have to constantly like check in on myself.
Yeah.
Because
but that's how you're going to keep your sanity.
Right. But it's exhausting. Man, it would just be nice if I could just be, you know what I mean? I think it's just so hard
just
to
go
be
crazy and let loose and
man,
say, some ass. It's going to be in these streets.
No, right? Because like, that's not right. And I don't feel that way, but like, no, I think it's more anger with like our current administration for not doing anything that people in general think it's a hoax.
Yeah.
How do we think that an illness with scientific evidence to back it up is a hoax?
And the people from all of these super spreader events are coming down with the COVID.
Are in the grocery stores.
But they're also coming down with COVID and still out here not believing in it.
Exactly. And taking their masks off. And this is why
it is alarming.
It is really this week. I don't think I really learned anything this week other than like,
stay your ass at home.
It legitimately feels like my seatbelt on a roller coaster has come undone and I'm hanging to the bar, flying around the air.
I like that analogy. That's very nice.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
At any moment, you could be taken out by a full metal bar. Ping! You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. Sometimes on them old school roller coasters, I would like put my hands up in the air just until we got underneath like those wood things. Because I always thought that my arms were really long. And I was like, watch, everything from my elbow up is going to be gone if I keep these things up here.
Yeah. Well, also Final Destination ruined roller coasters for me for like a moment. I mean, I still love roller coasters.
Same.
But there was a moment where I was like, man, I don't know. Please don't ever.
Here's the other thing too. And I'm afraid.
How did we get here? Okay.
I'm afraid to step into this. Like, it's the feeling of going down when you go down in a roller coaster. Like, it used to be okay for me. Like, I used to be, I loved it. Was exhilarating and gave me energy.
Do you not like it now?
Now I'd be like, I'd be closing my eyes and holding myself a little tighter because I'm like, ooh, this don't seem as fun like it used to. And I'd be like, hey, is you getting old? Like, oh no. I just
oh my God, you are getting old.
In the tales of things that make me older this week. That, like, because the last roller coaster I went on was the one in Las Vegas, and I was like, I will always have the energy to get on the roller coaster, but that first going down, man, I'd be like, like if that was
grumbling.
Yes. And then like this week I had to put like an extra lift in like the right side of my shoe. The right shoe, because my hips are uneven because I've been waddling a lot lately.
Okay, but that doesn't have anything to do with the age.
I feel like it does though, because I'm feeling it a lot more. Like I'm feeling it.
That's fine. Okay, like, right. Like you could better cope with that pain when you were in 20.
And my pelvis hurts. You know, back and body hurts.
Back and body hurts.
Like I'm like, oh, you said the other day that you saw me struggling to get off the floor. No. And I was like, oh no.
You grunted. You like bent over to pick something up and you went, I was like, oh, Britain. Oh, full umptum.
I don't want to believe. This is one of the things I'm in denial about. Like, I'm like, I don't want to believe that like this body's going to like one day just say, hey girl, no more. No mas.
I know. Mas. I feel like we're like really feeling the effects.
But I feel like today's generation is aging us a lot faster than we should be. Aging us a lot faster than we deserve to be aged.
No, I just don't think that we're ready. I think that our parents were aged at 30, but they had kids and you know
they were like ready for retirement at 30. I'm like, girl, I'm still out here.
You want to smoke some weed?
You want to? I'm still down.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. I got a few. Yes.
It's a vibe.
I only have one today.
Okay, well then I'll go first. Okay, it's a vibe or not. There's a campaign for LeVar Burton to take over Jeopardy. Now,
girl, I did not know. That's a gag. Yes,
it's a vibe, right?
Absolutely.
I'm like,
absolutely, LeVar Burton.
I
had
totally
no idea.
Was like,
and I was wondering who they were gonna like.
Yeah, months ago, I was like, dude, there's no way. Once Alex is gone, they just have to cancel Jeopardy. There's no way anyone can carry that on. But when I saw that, I was like, wait a damn minute.
Make it happen. LeVar Burton. Make it happen.
Yeah, so there's a campaign. There's a petition on, I think, on some website. Go to LeVar Burton's Instagram.
Listen,
because he's campaigning for it too.
He's got the followers.
He's got the brilliance.
He's got the brilliance. Like
he's got the personality.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
What a perfect replacement.
Oh my God.
Right? It's a vibe.
That's such a vibe.
Okay, your turn.
Finding out that Kamala Harris and Montel Williams used to date. Apparently, Montel wasn't happy that this news resurfaced and questioned if the dating life of a male politician would have been as scrutinized.
Thank you for reframing that, sir, because I agree.
Yeah. Listen, that, yes. But I'm personally here for it. I listen, the way to get me to relate to you, I love to know that my VP used to be out here thotting and bopping. I support and lift you up.
I love it.
And it's dating. Who cares? I hate this idea that like just because you're a politician, you have to uphold some standard that society imposes on you.
You gotta be some Barbie.
Like you can't have done anything. Like, I'm sorry, this current administration's leader, you girls can't tell us nothing.
Right.
You girls can't tell us a damn thing.
All rules are out the window.
Never again.
After 2016.
I still get frustrated sometimes with the Democratic Party sometimes because I'm like, you guys are still being fair. And I just want to be like, they threw all of that out the window.
Right.
Exactly. You don't owe the girls anything.
Yeah.
You don't owe the girls anything. Child.
Why are we negotiating with racists?
Ugh.
Nobody cares about you.
But the fact that Mama Kamala was giving the girls 2000s video vixen tees,
Yes.
I lift her up eternally for it. I lift her up
a
eternally
vibe.
for it. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. Okay, it's a vibe or nah. Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada all went blue.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's 1000% a vibe. Now,
It's a
get
vibe.
your Senate together, people.
Mhm.
We got 2 seats. I don't have time.
Yep.
Get the Senate together and somebody cast a spell on Mitch McConnell, period. I just need him to be gone. Why?
Yeah. I can't. Also,
why are they
can't wait
still
for
here?
Betsy to be out.
Get her outta here.
For Ben to be out. For okay. Last one. It's a vibe or nah. The Fresh Prince reunion is going to be on HBO
Full vibe.
Max.
And they're bringing back the original mom.
I know.
They're bringing back Janet. Or
I'm
bringing back
excited
original
to see
Vivian.
that.
I'm
Excited
here
to see
for it.
that
And I'm
interview.
glad that Will Smith did that.
I am too. He
Because it wouldn't have been right.
he
without
had
her.
to. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was.
I don't know
his
what that conversation looked
responsibility.
like, and I hope she cursed into the high heavens. But I
I'm
want
so interested
HBO
to
Max
see it.
really wants my money
Yeah.
because I was really upset that I can't watch that on nowhere else but HBO Max. I was like, but I have the HBO app. Why
Right.
can't you just stop playing? Why did you
Put
do
them
this?
together. Yeah. It seems wrong.
It's a vibe. Looking
Okay.
forward to it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you to the
It's been a
Numbers
great
FM.
show.
Thank
Yeah.
you to X-Ray. Thank you to Cable Radio. Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you, Britton.
Thank you, dogs. Check us out
Thank
at
you, listeners.
VillageVibesPDX.com. Please support us. Don't ask you for much. Stop asking y'all for money. But just give us some listens, honey,
Okay.
and some downloads.
Yeah. Share with your friends.
It takes a village to keep it together.
Okay, that's fine. It takes
Yeah.
a village to keep it together.
Boom.
And together we are keeping it. Thank you all. Bye.